Hello, everybody. Recording live from nowhere.
Where the are we? I'm rolling up, okay? It's raining! Woo! It's raining! Woo! We're not supposed to be here.
What up, world? It's your host, Andre X. I'm here with my guy, Yanti, the guy behind the wall. We have a very special guest today from Get On High Street. We have the one and only Dallas Rose in the fucking building. Make some noise! Yes, all the ladies in the building, please relax.
Just chill.
Just fucking
chill.
relax.
Yeah.
Let us do our thing, then you can jump on them. Well, welcome, brother. Welcome to the show. We're glad to have you.
I'm happy to be here, bro.
Yeah,
this is
man.
crazy. Like, we're actually in black and white. I thought that was just a camera effect.
Nah, bro. When you walk in, it's Lawrence. It's like a dull section of Lawrence. It's like a real gray area.
Okay.
When you, they actually used to test for COVID in this area, and so this is what
This is where the black white cartoon started.
Oh, wow. No shit.
So you guys know the first 5 minutes of our show, we roll up,
Yeah.
turn the Netflix off, grab your bitch, grab a drink, grab the weed. Let's roll up together. Are you ready?
I'm with
Go.
it. I'm with it.
Yeah, man. So the first 5 minutes, we just like to roll up with the world, get people ready and prepared. And while we do that, I talk to my guests about their vices and, what or why weed,
Why weed?
Yeah, because sometimes like everyone's vice is like, oh, I just smoke. So I'm like, all right, why weed? But some people's vices are like, yo, I love to go to the gym. I love to just spend all day with my kids. Fuck everybody else, So what's your vice? Like what do you think you need to get something done? Like what is that thing?
Besides coffee.
No, coffee can be
That
a
is
vice.
it, yeah. To get something done, what do I need? Honestly, I don't feel like, coffee, yeah, I gotta have some coffee in the morning, but I try not to be dependent on shit in order to do things. You know what I'm saying? Like, weed is more of a recreation, relaxing thing than like, oh, I gotta smoke before I do that, otherwise I can't do it. Because I don't like feeling dependent on shit like that. My father was an addict, for major parts of his life, and so I've always been very scared of real substance dependency.
Yeah, my father was a dare teacher, and I smoked more weed than a motherfucker. Yeah, he doesn't like it, but it's whatever. Yeah, man. So your dad was an addict, huh? That must have been tough.
It was, yeah. It was only for like periods. It was kind of, it was.
It was a weed or?
He smoked weed a lot. Like, so my dad had issues with substances before I was born. When my mother got pregnant, he sobered up. He went to night school and then medical school and became a doctor.
What?
He really put it together. So all my life.
Or he got some free drugs.
Nah, well,
The hospital's free, baby.
the prescription thing did happen later on, but no, yeah. So like he really put it together and stepped up and was an awesome doctor. And was sober throughout my whole childhood. He was Hollywood sober. He smoked weed all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then in my teen years, he fell back into drinking and other drugs and shit like that, and fell apart for another period of time, 5 or 6 years. Lost his medical license and shit like that, and but then he sobered up again. So like he got clean off that shit twice, man.
What do you think? So I personally just dealt with a addiction problem with somebody else. Like they had an addiction problem.
Yeah,
And
somebody that's important in your life.
yes. And so I'm trying to figure out what is it that brings them back there, because they were sober before and then they got back there.
Bro.
Like for you as a son watching your dad, did you notice like the change because something else changed in his life? You're like, oh,
Yeah.
this is why he's doing it, because this is what happened,
Yeah, he had a really fucked up relationship with his father. His father was very abusive, and shit like that. So, and didn't tell him he loved him a lot like that. So it was really hard for him when he was growing up. And then, so that was my grandfather, obviously, right? So when he was in his 80s and getting old, he came to live with us for a few years. And, my dad was taking care of him, fucking wiping his ass, like doing everything,
Reverse roles.
and he, his dad still didn't show him a lot of appreciation. And So I think that's probably what set him off in that period of time. And he was also like busting his ass trying to keep our house. Like we lived in Brookline, shit was mad expensive.
Oh yeah.
And so he was working crazy hours overnight all the time, picking up as many shifts as he could. So I think he just cracked, cracked. And that shit is, if you got that demon, man, it's hard, dude. You get around the wrong person or whatever, it's easy to slip.
Do you talking about your dad not and we're just gonna dive right into it since we're already like on a kind of like a traumatic feel here. I'm curious. You watch your dad. Understand that your dad's relationship with his dad wasn't well.
Yeah.
And so he used drugs as a crutch for that. Do you think he treated you like the way he wanted to be treated, or was he stuck in that resentment? I hate my dad, or I'm not feeling like whatever. Feeling.
Me and my dad had an amazing relationship,
Good.
And honestly, like, I have 3 brothers. Like, we all had a great relationship with him. My youngest brother, like, didn't get to experience as much of like the the sober years and stuff like that, I guess. But no, my dad, like, he never hit us once because of what he went through and shit like that. So, no, he definitely, I think, tried to treat us the way he wanted to be treated, or that he thinks a father should treat his son. And I think he did a great job of that. We always knew he loved us.
That's awesome, man.
No
That's good to hear.
No matter what he was dealing with,
Yeah, I just had a Russian guy on the other day, and
Nice.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, there's no I love you.
Yeah.
There's not even like a hey, how's your day? It's like, do your homework, go to work or something. It wasn't like it was really strict. So to hear you say that part is really cool, man. Because a lot of men are like, I don't think they understand the importance of a father's love, and a father's presence, especially the presence. Maybe not his love, but his presence, like to show like, this is how to be a man, or this is what it means to be a man in my eyes. Like teach you something, you know what I mean? Give you a life lesson, something.
Yeah, bro, it's so important. I mean, you see what happens in homes without dads and shit.
Right.
It's like, it's really hard on the kids.
Yeah.
And they usually lash out.
Yeah,
you need that figure.
I live in a city where it's very rare where people have both their parents, but the ones that do, you can tell the difference in that family, bro. Huge difference. And sometimes the difference blows your mind because they might, in the outside, their life looks great. They have both their parents, they chill with all their siblings, but the reality that they're in is probably miserable. But you know what I mean? Like for us on the outside looking at it, we're like, wow, this guy has a great life. But sometimes, like, perception is like a motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like some people are living a horrible life, but they just have all the glitz and glamours on the outside. You know what I mean? But the inside is like fucked, like totally fucked.
Yeah. I mean, you never know what somebody's really going through, especially with like everything is social media now, so people just put on their best face for the world.
I don't understand that. I wish people would like pick a day or a couple of days of the week and show them how they fucking really feel. You know what I mean? Like, I'm frustrated, I'm pissed, I'm mad, and like explain yourself and then explain how the fuck to get out of it.
Yeah. I mean, there's all those videos of people turn the camera on themselves crying and shit like that, play it up.
Is it real?
I mean, I think even if it is real, it's bullshit. It's half fake, because like if you're fucking really crying about something, why are you thinking about putting that on your story?
Right. Some people are delusional, bro. Some people like us being part of like the social media world and like being on podcasts and always being like clipped or whatever the fuck it is. Like the perception of like what we do is right in your face because we're literally talking about what we're gonna talk about, or we're gonna bring up whatever subject it is. But everybody else, I feel like, is putting up a front. Like what is the actual reason that you're posting something on Instagram, or what is the actual reason you're posting something on Facebook? Is it because you want people to respond to it? And if that's the case, then I understand. Like that's exactly what Facebook and Instagram are for. But for me, it's like there's so much more you could be doing. Like,
people just get off on the clout, man. Like the internet is a wild thing for us as humans because, like, we evolved in tribes and small social circles that didn't really stretch more than a few miles in most cases, for almost all of our history. And now we all are in front of the whole world and seeing the whole world. And it's basically just one big social scene. And so, like, we're driven to want that clout because, like, if you are the man in your tribe, you're the alpha, you get the best woman, you get all the women, you reproduce. So we're driven to want that shit. But it's like we can't fucking handle the the intensity of what social media gives to us like that, you know?
Yeah.
It's the same thing with all the fucked up videos you see. Like, we see too much shit. Like, we're not built for it.
It's too accessible.
We desensitized.
Yeah, I feel that, man. The only time I feel like we're not totally desensitized is when I show my daughter a horror movie and she can't sleep. You know what I mean? Like,
she's not desensitized.
Yeah,
yet.
she's not desensitized. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's like, oh shit, I can't sleep. I just seen fucking Chucky. So, for me, it's those things. Like, I'm trying to monitor that for my kid because she has a phone. You know what I mean? So I can't really monitor her all day. She lives with her mom. But
Yeah.
when she's with me, I'm on top of that, like making sure that she's not on her phone all day. Like,
You gotta put
she
parental
cleans
controls on
something.
that
Yeah,
bitch,
yeah. It's very tough, man. Like this instant gratification. There's so much accessible things. I don't know. It blows my mind. I work with kids all day, so
Oh, yeah.
they're very distracted on their phones all day.
terrible.
This one kid, her phone fell and it shut off, and she was supposed to come to program. She walked all the way back home just to charge her phone to make sure it worked. Like, okay, it works. Then she waited till I got to 50%. Then she walked back to my job. She could have charged it in my job, but that's how like anal they are about their fucking phones and electronics, bro.
It's a crazy addiction.
That
I think
shit
we're gonna look
crazy.
back on this era like, what the fuck were we
Yeah,
thinking?
what the fuck are we? How old are you?
Almost 45.
What were you addicted to as a kid? Because we didn't have electronics like that.
Soda.
Which was good back then. It was good back then.
It was good soda,
Right?
yeah.
Some Jolt Cola and shit.
Yeah.
Don't tell me what a good time.
Nah, I mean, when I was a kid, I was addicted to, I don't know, video games, fucking TV. You know, I don't know if I had any like real addictions as a kid. you
For
know what
me,
I'm
like to recognize an addiction as an adult, when you were like, what kind of addiction you had as a kid, just try to pinpoint the one thing that you'd rather do than fucking eat.
saying? There wasn't a lot of that for me as a
No?
kid. It was probably food, really.
Nah, for me, my addiction was like finding a way, and this is stupid.
To
but-
jerk off?
No. It wasn't an addiction, but it was more like a routine for me. My parents would leave me outside. Right? They'd come home I'd come home at 2 or 3 o'clock. My parents would be home at 5, then leave again till 7:30, then come back. So I'd be outside for hours. So my routine, which I say is my addiction, was making other families mine. I'd walk into someone's house and call their mom, call their dad. Like everyone in my neighborhood, I could walk in their house without knocking. You know what I'm saying? and that's what became my addiction, is just finding more family. And that's why every friend I've ever had, I treated like a brother. I treated like a cousin.
Yeah.
I'll give you the shirt off my back if you really needed it. You know what I mean? But if you have a nice chest, I'm like, yeah, I can stay with my shirt. You can.
What?
You can sport it.
You can sport the no shirt. But yeah, man, I feel like that kind of addiction is healthy to me. Like building community. Like that's basically what I was doing, is building community within my little circle. And
Yeah,
like,
that's dope.
You know, how was like community for you growing up? You grew up in Brookline the whole
Yeah.
time. Okay, how was it like growing up there? I know it's like the nicer part of Boston, but it's still Boston. You know, you can still like take a
Yeah.
curve to the wrong street and like so.
Yeah, I
how was
mean-
community for you growing up?
I mean, it was awesome, man. You know, Brookline, I was really lucky to grow up there. It's a really fucking amazing town. It's, you know, it's technically not part of Boston, but it is. It might as well be.
Yeah.
It just was annexed as its own town. It's like, if you look at the pie, it's part of it, basically, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But it is its own town, so we got our own schools, we got our own cops. You know, it's the proximity to the city is amazing. I lived, you know, Coolidge Corner, Brookline Village area, right near Kenmore and Fenway and all that shit. So like,
Nice.
you know, I really got the best of both, like a town experience with being in the city, and it's a really, really diverse town. You know, there was tons of Metco kids and shit like that, so I got to know people from all over Boston. I mean, it was fucking awesome, dude.
How often did you like get into fights with like Matt Damon and Ben Affleck?
I think they lived in Cambridge, but I never fought them. No.
I never fought them.
You didn't finish an equation on the board?
No, yeah, no.
I did fight Slane though. I did.
Where we ashing here?
My next question I wanted to ask was, as a community, like being in your community, and now you're doing a podcast literally around the same spot where you lived. Was that like purpose because you're part of that community, or were you trying to build more community by doing a podcast now, or like?
Well, I mean, the podcast, you know, has always just kind of been an extension of making music. You know, I started it with my original co-host Fame. After a session, you know, she was like, "Hey, I want to do a podcast," and I was like, "All right, hang on." You know, and then we just started the show 5 minutes later, and now it's 4 years later. and we just did episode 200 and shit. Fam's no
Nice.
longer with us
Nice,
on the
man.
show, but yeah, and as far as like, so I always wanted to just extend what's happening with my circle of musicians
Likewise, that's like where we started. for
into
real.
the podcast.
Yeah.
And community wise, I mean, yeah, I think it's an important piece for that. And then moving into the studio at New Dia in the Fenway last year was incredible because, like you said, like I grew up around there.
Yeah.
I was born on Jersey Street, literally blocks away. So, and then also it allows us to have people congregate around the show and try to build community that way too. I think it's hugely important in the music scene because we need a scene. It can't be like just one guy individually acting.
Yeah. If you had a choice to like create a lane or like a scene, you know what I mean? Like what would that look like for you? For like, for artists and, producers?
I mean, I think it would look a lot like where things are going right now with the scene around here. But just there needs to be more fans. I think like most of the shows I go to, like there's not a lot of fans. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's awareness, like because there's all these colleges and shit.
Yeah. I think it's more like a, and this is just from experience, man. I feel like it's like more like a who you know, like who, like not who you know, but like if like where you're from. Like for instance, I've had many shows.
Yeah.
Over 100, right? And here in Lawrence, most likely I will bring at least 50, 60 people. I will get people in there. But when it comes to like going to Boston, and I've been in people's albums, I produce for people. I've been on tour with LOG. I've done a lot of stuff with people.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like it's all about like their hometown. Because when I go to Brockton or something, and I go see an artist over on that side, you see only Brockton people there. But when I go to a college thing, it's just a scatter of people that don't even know who's there. They came for the person that's not from town. You know what I'm saying? Like like when Mac Miller came, fucking the shit was crazy. But but Term was there.
I mean, honestly, what we
mean?
what we need, I think, is like for the artists here to be attractions in other towns. Like if people were talking nationally about the music scene that's happening in Boston, then it would be a different story. If there was, nationally big songs that were coming out of here regularly, like you have in other cities, it would just be a different deal. Like college kids would turn up for that shit, and they'd be like, "Yeah, I go to school in Boston. It's dope. There's all those musicians that you like are there and shit."
Yeah, and I feel like we're getting there. You're right. I think there's like a inching in of that happening now because like from Token to Joyner to fucking Millies to Bia to all these people, but these people have been working for fucking years.
Yeah.
You understand? So maybe Token's the newest one because he's the youngest, but everybody else I know for sure have been working for fucking years to get to the spot that they're at.
It's not easy, bro.
Yeah, and they still don't get the fan base from like that they deserve. You know what I'm saying? Because I think those artists I named are incredible artists and they're very unique. There's nothing that you can compare them to. Like they earn their own fucking lane. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wonder how we can spice that up, man. What we should do is fucking take some podcasts on tours to give some awareness of where we're from and bring some artists out with us and have them open up or finish the show off, and that way we double marketing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean that's a big reason why. Another reason why I do the show is because I believe that the city needs big platforms. So I enjoy podcasting. I can do it. I got the shit to do it. So like, I figure why not try to make a fucking big one? Because if we have nationally big shows here, and it becomes a destination city for big artists, and then we can just plug in our own artists into those shows, and then people know about them all of a sudden. Because a lot of this shit that goes on when artists are breaking now, it's usually because there's a huge bag behind them, from a label or an investor or something like that.
Yeah.
And they just pay all the big platforms to run their shit.
It's a pay-to-play game, yeah.
And then they get on. So like, there's not even really a lot of industry like that in Boston with big money and shit like that that's going into music. So that's why people have to go to New York and LA to really try to make big moves. But I think that the more that we can get that type of thing churning here and more buzz we can generate, and most importantly though, bro, we just need to have some big songs come out of here.
Yeah.
Nothing will happen until there's real big songs.
Yeah, and I know what you mean by a big song, like a like something that will last the ages. You know what I mean? Like a fucking next episode, like from Dr. Dre. You know, like a song that like you know what I mean? Like
I mean, that would be great. Yeah,
Yeah,
but I
I'm
mean,
saying.
even just some fucking hits. Like, there's really not a lot of hits coming out of Boston hip hop.
yeah, I think hits are hard now. I'm gonna tell you why. There's a hit every day, man. Like if you ask like the fan base, there's a hit every day. You know what I mean? It's like fuck. Like what does a hit sound like now? Because there's so much fucking music. It's so hard to pinpoint where the direction is actually going. You know what I mean? Like for a hit to be made. I understand when it comes to pop music, there is a formula to make a hit.
Yeah,
When it
those
comes
Swedish
to
guys,
when
Max,
it's when
Max
it comes
something.
when it comes to country music, same thing. R&B, there's ways to make hits with those songs. But hip hop is like this now. There's everything. There's trap, there's drill, there's fucking regular rap, there's boom bap. It just keeps going. It's all this type of shit. So it's like, you know what I
What's
mean?
really in?
Yeah. What? If you're making a hit, is it a hit actually for hip hop, or is it a hit in whatever genre you just
what I'm
made it
saying?
in? You know what I mean? So it's like all these subgenres I think are fucking up the understanding of what can be a hit for hip hop, because now like hits back in the day, and you grew up in the 90s, so you understand. Hits back in the day, they were like, there was conscious hits, there was fucking sexual hits, there was drug induced hits, you know, there was like all, you know what I mean? But they were all in this like realm of this one hip hop thing. Now where hip hop is so like broad and out there, it's like fuck.
That's happened to other genres too, though. Like,
Yeah?
if you look at rock, you know, when rock first came out,
I could
it was all kind of
Rock's another
similar,
one.
and then it became completely fractured.
Yeah, that's true. That's
You
true.
know,
Yacht
I think
rock.
there's,
Yeah.
there's yacht rock.
I
You
love
know,
yacht rock.
What's that?
that's like fucking Margaritaville. What's his name? Jimmy Buffett.
There he is.
Yeah, Jimmy Buffett. Maybe Eagles.
Oh, okay.
You know, Don Henley, Huey Lewis in the News.
It's just a couple guys talking about the news.
Like Bruce Springsteen shit.
I wouldn't say he's yacht rock.
No, he's more born in the USA.
Hootie and the Blowfish.
No, that's like
That's like
That's country.
that's like alternative.
it's
fucking-
like
That's-
cheesy '90s adults rock,
Yeah, that it is alternative.
adult contemporary rock.
He said cheesy.
What kind of people you listen to growing up? Like, what was
I've
that?
always been like half. Well, not always actually. When I was younger, I got into rap when I was around 5 or 6, like first or second grade. I saw the Beastie Boys on Friday night videos because Pee Wee Herman was hosting, and my dad let me stay up to watch it. And the Fight for Your Right to Party came on, that video. I don't know if you guys remember that shit. but,
Yeah.
yeah, you know what I'm talking about. It was awesome, dude. Fucking, and I was just like, what is this?
The only reason why you see it is because
MTV.
you have to watch it to get your green card.
That's part of
No
getting
fool,
into
because
America.
MTV in the morning while I was getting ready, they'd play it.
There you go.
You know, I'm just kidding with you. You don't have to be factual.
I'm just saying, no.
Hassle.
Yeah, so that I got into rap there, and I liked rap, you know, all those early grades and shit like that when I was a kid, and then I didn't really like rock much until except for Born in the USA by Bruce Springsteen. I did like that song when I was there.
She was like a theme song for everything.
Yeah, it was the shit, dude. But and also the WWF albums back then, which had like Real American, Hulk Hogan's theme, those shits. I like those shits too.
Me too. I love that era. Bro. That era was amazing. But go ahead. We'll talk
And then
about that
in
next.
7th grade, Nirvana came out with Smells Like Teen Spirit, and again I was like, what is this?
Yes, they switched the game up, bro.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
really did.
yeah, because I wasn't into any of the '80s bands really, like all the metal, the hair metal and shit like that. But then I got into Nirvana. Then I just went deep into grunge rock, and then I got into like Metallica and Guns N' Roses, and then Pantera.
Damn,
and then I
you
got
hard, bro.
hell yeah, no. Then then in high school
Sir.
I got really into like all like local Boston and New York hardcore bands from like all the Northeast really.
Oh, so you
So I used to just go to mad shows like
you know,
that.
you know
like-
Prospect Hill and Beneath the Sheets and them, or no?
No, that was probably
a little
later on or
later
something.
on, yeah, it was,
nah, this was like Blood for Blood days.
Not Godsmack.
No, Godsmack.
Wait, that's
I
way
never
after.
really
Never
liked
liked
them. They weren't even. They were like kind of metal. I feel like they're more of a rock band though.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then I liked all that shit, and then always still liked rap too. You know, my favorite music is when rap and metal are mixed well. But I only think that one band has ever done that.
Which one?
E-Town Concrete. You probably haven't heard of.
Okay.
They were like a band out of New Jersey. You know, started in the '90s. And yeah, they never got like huge or anything like that, but they were like a pretty big hardcore band. You know, like if you listen to hardcore music back then, you definitely knew about them type shit.
Were
but
they like Korn?
nah,
Because
Nah,
Korn,
they were
Korn
like-
had like a hip hop element. a little
Yeah,
bit.
but it was like when they rapped, it was so fucking cheesy. Like the Korn's metal shit was nasty, but then when they rap, you're like, come on, bro.
yeah.
But like, so E-Town though, their metal shit was nasty as fuck, and then when they rap, it was like dope.
Were they white?
Yeah.
Yeah. Were you big and did you care about like
Black hip hop.
black hip hop or white hip hop when you first started seeing it? Did you
Like-
understand, or you were like, nah, this is all equal?
I think obviously it was mostly black people
Yeah.
rapping, but like, I don't know. You know, I don't know. I mean, it was at that time, it was definitely so heavily black people. Like there was like, you could probably count the number of white rappers back then on one hand, you know?
You could kind of still count the rappers on one hand. Like they're like
Major ones, yeah.
Yeah, that you like that you can remember like right now from the top of
Right,
your head. You'll probably
right.
name like 5 or 6.
That's
Real
true.
talk.
That's true.
And I wonder.
But I didn't care about it,
yeah.
no, dude. Like, I mean, I don't know. I never really gave much of a fuck about race
know,
too much. Like, you see that somebody looks different, but
Boston's a little like, a little like back then was a little racy, So I was just wondering, like growing
Yeah.
up in that area you were growing up in, like was it like a I'm just used to seeing like white people, so I'm listening to a lot of white bands, or was there any black bands that were hard that maybe you wish you knew before? You're like, oh, I didn't even know these people. You know what I'm saying? Because you weren't exposed to it.
I mean,
You know what I mean? Was that how music was for
honestly,
you? Were you
like,
exposed to it, or?
no, I feel like I was exposed to a lot of shit. You know, like I remember in second grade, my friend BR, he was from Mattapan. He was in Metco, and I was telling him how I liked rap, and he was like, "You ever heard LL Cool J?" And I was like, "Huh?" Got that shit. Freaked out again. You know, we used to rewind that tape over and over, just memorizing that first shit. I'm bad, yeah. And so I mean, I don't know. I was always exposed to shit. You know, like hanging out with other kids that then would show me like Two Live Crew. When NWA came out, it was fucking insane. You know, that was my favorite shit in like 5th grade.
NWA, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. My dad's a cop, so NWA was not playing in my house.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, so-
Fuck that.
Yeah. I didn't know about NWA till so my cousin, he's like the guy of the family, like the hustler of the family. Like he's the one that got arrested. He's the one that he's the guy. And I would always go to his house and listen to hip hop because he had my father had some records, but they were like Vanilla Ice. You know, like it was Vanilla Ice. It was like
Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
Nah, I think he did have Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. You're right. He did have New Kids on the Block. Like he had that kind of music. When I went to my cousin's house, he had The Chronic. He had the Snoop Dogg album. You know what I mean? He had Tupac's album. He had Nas's album. So those kind of things were like opening my mind to hip hop a lot more.
My parents were super cool too. They like, like would let me listen to whatever, bought me the NWA tape for my birthday and shit like that.
Crazy.
Yeah, they always would expose
That's
me to
dope.
shit. Like
Those are
even
cool
if you're talking about other races, like they intentionally like put me in a preschool that was very mixed because they didn't want me to only be around white kids,
That's dope.
That's dope, man.
which I definitely think had an effect on me.
Yeah, I think it does to everybody because like it shows there's two things that happen, right? And this is from experience. I went to an all private school when I was growing up, but it was all like 98% Spanish people, right? I went to high school, and we were like 30% Spanish people. It was all white people, and the culture shock for me was more like.
Bro, did it feel like you were Saved by the Bell?
No, the thing is this, right? The thing is this.
That's what it felt like for
You have
me.
to understand the environment, though, too, right? In Lawrence, most of the addicts in Lawrence that we see on Broadway Street are not Spanish people. They're white people, right? And so growing up seeing that is my perception of what white people are. They're that's what I was thinking. They're either super on drugs or they're in the government. That's it. Or sometimes they're in the government and on drugs, so like it was
The nurses or
bro,
cops.
growing up, everything. And so that's what I always thought. When I got to high school, I started seeing the different levels of like the white people,
Yeah,
right? Like there's regular white people just like us, like Spanish people that live in the same way we do, have culture and all this kind of shit. But then there's also snobby people, just like there isn't like here. You know what I mean? I had to put myself in their shoes to understand, like, okay, this is not what I'm used to, but I have to get used to this. I'm gonna be here for 4 years. Like I even let people call me my name wrong for like almost a year because I don't know what it is, but every white person that tries to say my name they would say an E like an A. So my real name is Melix, but everybody would call me Malix. Malix. So I'm just like, whatever, right? I just let it be. Yeah, you know. So for me, I think culture and mixing cultures is super necessary, man. You have kids?
Yeah, 3.
My kid right now goes to a school in Andover, and she's brown like me, and I'm glad that she's going there. You know, I want her to mix and like not even see color. Like all these colors are the same if you see them all the time. You know what I mean? Like for me. But you said you had kids?
Yeah, 3.
What, boys, girls?
I got a boy and 2 girls. Yeah.
What's the oldest?
He's almost 18. He's a senior.
Oh wow, man! Damn, you an old guy for real.
Shout out to them.
Damn, man. He's a senior. What school he goes to?
Westwood.
Okay, and he plays any sports?
Plays football. Yeah.
Nice.
He's a linebacker.
Scholarship?
No. He's not that serious with it. You know, he takes it very seriously, but he's not trying to like go play football. No. Yeah.
What's his goals like?
I mean, you know, he's thinking engineering. That's what he wants to go to school for. You know,
that's hard to argue with. You know, like
he's doing great, man.
Yeah, you know how your parents usually have influence on what you're gonna go to school for. But if he's telling you I'm gonna be an engineer, you're like, I mean, fuck, I was gonna tell you to be an electrician, but engineer's better. You know what I mean? So like,
yeah, no, I mean, you know, I don't push my kids into too much, but definitely try to support anything they want to do.
Where did the journey for music start for you?
I mean, I was always pretty into it. I've loved listening to it since I can remember, for sure. My mother played piano all the time, and my dad used to try to be in bands and shit with his buddies in the basement.
What do you play?
Bass.
Nice. My dad plays saxophone.
Oh, nice.
And was
nice.
in bands, yeah.
Yeah. So I was always around it, and then I remember fucking with a keyboard and trying to make like rap beats and write raps with my friend in like 2nd grade, and then play a little bit of saxophone for a year or whatever, and then 7th grade, I think it was. Yeah, 7th grade. Maybe it was 8th grade. Got a drum. For Christmas, I got a drum set. My brother got a guitar. My other brother got a keyboard. And the brother with the keyboard didn't take to it right away, but me and my brother, like, since that day, have always just been making music together in bands and shit like that.
You guys were almost Hanson, yo.
Yeah, we were close. We were probably a little too far in age. I was 5 years older than my brother, so like, there was, for the first few years, I felt a little uncool having him in my band because he was in like 3rd grade, you know? Other kids in high school were like, what the fuck, dude? Like, he can't be in our band. I'm like, come on, he's good. But
yeah, you can't deny talent.
I mean, he is fucking nasty. He's the best guitarist I've ever seen.
See, that's dope.
You know? But yeah, so that's how I got started in music, was I got that drum kit, really. And since then, it's just been like trying to do it, you know? Except for I took like a good long hiatus after I had kids.
What's it like having kids and being involved? Like, do you place beats? Do you get all?
Yeah. No, I do all that producer shit, man.
What's it like? What's it like trying to like manage the time and?
I mean, I try to work on shit when they're not around. If they're at school or like wake up early and stuff like that. But there's plenty of times where I got my headphones on, or they're milling around. I'm fucking with some shit. And they definitely get sick of like me being like, do you like this mix or this mix better? Like that, they sound the same.
At least you're training their ears.
Yeah. That's dope, man. Yeah, that's dope. My daughter loves to sing and stuff, so I've always like had a studio in my vicinity where I was living. I would have a studio, and I remember one time I just gave her the microphone and put autotune on.
Yeah.
And she sang her ass off. But then I turned the autotune off, and she was still singing her ass off. I was like, oh shit, you can sing. And this was like 3 years old. I have videos on my Instagram from it.
Yeah.
And ever since then, bro, she just loves to be an entertainer. She wants to sing. She wants to dance. She wants to act, Yeah,
keep
so I love that. I feed into that all the time. Whatever she wants, whatever she needs to do to get her there. Like right now, she's in the play. She didn't get like the main part because the 6th graders don't get the main parts. They get background parts. And she knew it, and she knew it was coming anyways, and she was like, oh, I don't want to do it now. I was like, but you fucking knew it was coming. You told me. And she's like, all right, I'll do it. And me and her sat down. We talked about like the importance of being impeccable with your word. You said you were gonna do it, so just do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm trying my best to incorporate the 4 agreements with my daughter. You ever read the 4 agreements?
I know of the book. I haven't read it. What are they gonna?
4 agreements.
Checked out the synopsis.
Be impeccable with your word.
Right.
Don't take anything personally. Don't make assumptions. and always try your best. Yeah. Oh no, always don't always try your best. Always do your best.
Instead of saying try.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. That's
Yeah.
That's about.
So I'm trying to incorporate
the way
that,
to
and,
go.
and I'm trying to
Yeah.
incorporate that as a dad. You know what I mean? Like, me and my father, like, or my mom, like, our relationships weren't like, let me teach you something. You know, it was like, it wasn't really like that. It was more like, I gotta go to work, or I'll see you later. So like, I try my best to like have the conversations with my daughter and see how she feels. I don't know if your father or your mom ever asked, how do you feel?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I never got that. You know what I mean? My
Yeah.
parents never asked me that. Like, how do you feel?
Wow.
I never got that. Have you ever got that, Yanti?
Hell no.
Yo,
No
guy
shit.
behind the wall, you ever got that?
No.
Do you have anyone in your family go, how do you feel?
Never.
And he's young. This guy's 17. So imagine, like, he's in this generation and it's still happening. People aren't asking how we feel as kids. You know what I mean? They're just
Yeah,
like,
that's
you're my
crazy.
kid, do this, go to school, do. You know what I mean? It's like, what the fuck? We have feelings. Let's have a dialogue. Let's have a conversation.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, honestly, that type of relationship with your kids is very foreign to me. You know, because I was close with my parents and I'm close to my kids, so it's hard for me to even imagine that, bro.
It's different. Your parents are American, like they were
Yeah.
born here.
Yeah.
So like it's different. Most of
Totally.
our parents are like,
Yeah.
they came from out of country. So when you come from out of country, you have this.
It's a different
Yeah,
culture.
just, like you have to come here and work and
They're
be
also
better and
fucking
be
grinding,
Because
yeah.
the thing is, like, when you're not from this country and you get here, the mentality is to be better than the people that are from here.
Right.
Because if I'm better
You
than
have
the
to be
people,
better.
because otherwise I'm wasting my time. I just came here to be a fucking bum. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the mentality of almost everyone that comes from
Facts.
another country.
And my parents are old as shit. Like they had me when my mom was almost 40.
Oh, so they're just tired of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like a New Year's baby on accident. You know, like
Oh, yeah.
they got drugged. They had
You have
sex,
older
and yeah,
siblings?
fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Two older sisters. They're both 10 years older than me.
So,
You know what I mean?
they thought they
it was
were
definitely an
They
accident.
thought they were long done.
And I'm the only boy, so it's crazy.
Oh yeah, wow. Yeah, my youngest brother is 13 years younger than me.
Wow.
Yeah. Like it was me, then 5 years, then
So you
7
know-
years, then 13 years.
So, you know, the youngest one always gets babied the most.
Totally, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Shout out
me.
to Jimmy. Best videographer around.
Yeah. What up, Jimmy? Yeah. Let's move on, man. I want to talk about trauma.
Okay.
You seem like you've had a great childhood. It seems like you're doing well. Is there any like traumas that maybe have or could have taken you out of the focus that you're in? Or maybe
I mean,
trauma
honestly,
that,
I feel like my traumas have like knocked me into focus. At least in recent years. You know, when I was younger, that shit. You know, when my dad fell apart, that definitely fucked me up and everything. But like, no, yeah. I mean, I think the most traumatic thing I've ever been through was losing my nephew a few years ago. I guess it was like 9 years ago now, probably. Something like that. You know, that was my brother's son. He was like 2.5. Basically passed away in his sleep. And,
my condolences.
thanks. Yeah, I mean, it was, obviously just totally horrible for everybody, and like incredibly horrible for my brother. But so that shook me up pretty bad. That was really shocking. That was the first. I'd had grandparents die and stuff like that, but that was the first like sort of young, like early death I had to deal with. And I mean, I obviously love this kid so much.
Yeah. Did it made you guys tighter? Did it make?
We were already really tight, but it probably made us tighter. Yeah, my brother came and lived with me for a while after that and shit like that, which was kind of nice and everything. But I mean, that was honestly like when I decided to like make sure that I gave everything I had towards music. I had kind of been starting to dabble with it again and shit like that, and seeing a life end so early made me think about how precious life is and how important it is to do the most with your time.
Yeah, man.
So
every moment counts.
So, I do a lot of this for Logan, man, for my nephew, honestly, because I want to honor his life, I guess.
Does it make you cherish the moments with your kids a lot more?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, definitely. It made me recognize how lucky I am, for sure.
Because I can admit this to myself as a father. Sometimes days just go, and like
Yeah.
you know what I mean. And it's like I could have we could have done something exciting today, or like we could have made a moment today, you know, or
Could
something.
at least
you know?
just like watch the show.
Yeah,
together,
something.
Yeah.
And it's like when those days just go sometimes. And me being a single father, like I see my daughter, you know, 'cause she goes to school, so I see her like in the weekends, or I pick her up during the week after work, or during work. She goes to my program sometimes.
So you're already missing a lot.
Yeah, I miss a lot of time with her, and it's like to hear a child like go, man. It's just like, damn, man.
Nah, it's totally fucked up.
Yeah, it's like fuck, man. I want to spend every moment I can with my daughter, and the only reason why I can is because like I'm not financially where I need to be, where I can just be there every day.
I mean, most people like, you know, it's hard for them to be there all the fucking time. You know,
But that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome.
amazing.
You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
I'm so into like tribal life, and like
Yeah.
I really dig into the roots of where like I'm from. You know, I know I have Taino blood in me, which is like, you know, the indigenous people that are from the Caribbeans, and they were like along the Florida line too, and you know, I really dig deep into that. And I feel like my roots have like made me want to like be more tribe-like and like stick around more, where everyone's like we're raising everybody together. Like it's not just mom and dad. It's like, fine, me and the mother of my child aren't together, but we're still part of this tribe that we can just, yo, let's do this today, or yo, you know what I mean? Like, and we're getting there, and I'm really trying to like get there with that, you know, because that's really important to me.
Dude, I hear it, man.
To have peace everywhere, you know, like
Yeah.
like not have to worry about like, oh, I didn't do this, so she's gonna get mad, or this and that. Like just to have peace with everybody and just be cool. Like as soon as I show up, it's like it's love all the time. Doesn't matter if you're my ex or not. You know what I mean? I'm trying to eradicate that attitude, that resentment.
That's good. It's definitely like, it's probably an ideal, right? Like,
Yeah.
it might not be possible to really reach that like perfection, but that is what you want to go
Right.
for, I think.
And that probably, in that case, if it doesn't happen for me, it won't happen on my part. Like, cause I can reach whatever plateau I want. It just depends on how everybody else is gonna react to it, right? Cause to me, you can be upset, but I'm so peaceful that I'm gonna look past the anger and try to get you to my level of peace. Because there's no reason why you could be as angry as you want, but if I'm not angry, then I'm just you're angry by yourself.
Dissolve. Yeah.
Wasting your time.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
And most conflicts are caused by escalation because somebody can't chill out.
yeah, how do you deal with I know in the music world, like I've dealt with some knuckleheads as an engineer and shit. Like,
Yeah.
how do you deal with negative people or like just shit that just doesn't like in your vibe? And you're like, you know, like
I mean, I feel like, you know, usually I'll just get away from that person or like get them out of there or something like that if it's really a problem. But I haven't had to deal with too many people that were like really an issue. And I'm also pretty good usually at like jiving with people. Like, and you know, if you sense that they're like, maybe they're all fucking drunk or something like that, so you know they're gonna be a problem. And it, you know, a lot of conflict I think can be sort of like avoided or like not even like came to by just the way that you treat somebody and the way that you interact with them. So like, yeah, when there's, I mean, you know, and then if there's real negative situations of like decisions with music and stuff like that, I usually just say, you know, let's try it, and then we'll decide which one we want to keep.
yeah,
You know, and spending so much time in bands, like I've gotten over like needing my idea to be right every time.
oh, I like that. Yeah, a lot of egos, man.
You know, the only ego that matters is the songs. Everybody else can leave that shit at the door. You know, it has to be whatever is best for the music, and that's not always going to be your idea, or the first idea, or the third idea. Like, you just have to try shit, and then you know what the right shit is.
Yeah. Do you take the same approach when it comes to like your relationship? Because I'm sure
My relationship with a woman, you mean?
Yeah. The mother of your children.
So we're divorced.
Yeah.
So
Well, so there's a lot of disagreements. Probably.
there's,
Yeah.
I mean, well, I mean, there's that. Well, that's kind of the nice thing about divorce, that there can. I mean, you know, we argue sometimes still, but I mean, mostly I don't have to deal with her anymore.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
Like,
yeah. Well, what's that like, being married and then divorced with a family?
I mean, it fucking sucked when it happened, dude.
Yeah.
You know, it was terrible. You know, to split the family up, but the aftermath. You know, once you get through it, you know, aside from like you were saying, like I miss half of my kids' lives now, basically. You know, because they're with their mom for half their lives, but that's the time I feel with music and shit like that. So whatever. But like, But yeah, once you get through it, dude, it's not that bad. You know, I got a nice place. I do the dishes whenever the fuck I want to.
Yeah,
you know, like my kids are with me half the time, and we chill and we have quality time, just me and them. And so there's a lot of silver linings, you know. And I'm with a great woman now, you know.
Good, man.
So
And oh, so you with someone now? Is
Yeah.
it hard? Here's another question, because this is like a one that comes up a lot.
yeah,
Is it hard to, like, when you find someone new, when you have kids and you find someone new, like, and they don't have kids, and is it like, how hard was that adjustment for them? Because sometimes it's like, I don't want to step on people's toes. I have to watch what I say. And they move in with you, so like half of their shit's yours. Like the apartment or whatever you live in is yours. So like the rules are half theirs too. So like when the kids come, it's like, yo, tell him not to do that, or like, yo,
I mean,
tell.
I haven't lived with a woman since I've been divorced.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah.
you're learning your lesson.
So yeah.
One and done. Thank you.
No, I mean, we'll see what the future
All right,
holds.
so fuck
but-
that question. Never mind.
but-
Put it in the back. I thought you were living with this person.
But no. I mean, and my girl now, she has kids, so like she gets it. But I mean, no, in other relationships or dating situations I've had, it's definitely been a thing. You know what I mean? Because I think for women without kids, especially ones that want kids, like they don't really know how to deal with that shit. You know, like because they're like, these aren't, like you're saying, these aren't my kids, like. Or like, is this guy gonna want to have kids with me? You know, because I know I want kids. So what does the future really hold and shit like that? So it's a hurdle, man. I think it's a hurdle either way. For when you don't have kids and you date somebody with kids, like you got to deal with that shit.
Yeah.
You know.
That's how I started. I was dating the mother of my child, and she had 2 kids. But I feel like I got that from my dad. My dad got with my mom when she had 2 kids. So it was like just like a repeat of like legacies, you know what I mean, or something like that.
Yeah.
So I can understand why I went that way. But yeah, man, this has been a great talk, man. I like this. This is really
Yeah.
cool. It's cool. It's cool because like we've started, when we first started the show, we're probably like 50, 60 episodes in.
Okay.
But when we first started the show, like, I'm very funny. I feel like I'm funny. So we were just doing a whole bunch of funny shit. And like, we were talking about things, but like, it wasn't getting as deep as like right to the point. Like now, like how I'm doing it now. And I feel like we've grown so much, and like you coming on and just being open about, losing your nephew and your dad's addiction and stuff like that. I feel like just listening to people just open up like that. I'm like, damn, I feel like we're getting to a better place with this podcast, and I'm really appreciative that you just came and was really honest like that,
Nah, bro. I mean, I think it's really cool, that you're going that angle with this show, into creating a space where people can open up and let some shit go.
Yeah, man.
That's valuable, man.
Yeah, and I think in a way, because we're like trying so many new things and just like not like trying to take it more serious too. It's like sometimes I feel like, damn, how come we're not further than where we should be? But
With the podcast,
yeah, but we also like,
well, how do you measure further, like in numbers and shit?
like even like maybe even sponsorship or like even a way to like, I don't know, like travel and do this live and stuff. Like, if you had any advice to give like a new podcast like us that are just coming up, is there something that you can tell us that like we should be doing that we don't know, you know what I mean? Even though like everyone's journey is their own.
I wouldn't even necessarily target this advice towards you, because like I see how how nice the setup is and everything like that, and I don't even know what type of process you have, but what I would tell somebody trying to start a podcast is to do it on a consistent schedule, like pretty regularly, like try for once a week, to make the presentation like relatively high quality, like, which is pretty achievable with iPhones and
Right.
You can get little lav mics, you can get mics like this for not that much. So yeah, make it pretty presentable, prepare for it, and what was the other thing I was gonna say? Fuck. What did I say?
That's that weed, papi.
Yeah, I know, right? So I said prepare for it, make it presentable, do it consistently. And I mean, honestly, that's pretty much it. And then you got to try to get good guests.
Yeah.
Because guests, I think, are what's going to, like, grow a podcast. 'Cause
Creating
you get
that moment.
new people checking you out and shit. Yeah. Yeah, if you can get, like, moments that go viral and shit like that based on the subject matter, that can work, too.
Yeah. I feel like when people find their niche and stuff, like, it feels easy, it feels like the momentum just goes. I feel like we got good momentum right now, and like a lot of things have been happening within the circle, like very deep and like hurtful and like eye-opening things too. But like every week we show up, and we're just here.
Yeah.
And we're
Hurtful things within you guys?
Just in like life, like people are going through like divorces and shit like that, too. And
Oh, wow.
And like it's just life things, and depression and shit like that. And this show has been helping us show up every week because we get to talk to each other, like talk to people, and we get to like express. Yeah. And after we're done this, we almost always just chill and talk while we smoke, and we get deeper, and we just.
You should film the after show.
Yeah, that'd be dope. That'd be dope, but I feel like the camera like puts on the like.
It changes a little bit.
Yeah,
right?
because we know we're gonna put it out, and it's like we don't really care about what we say most of the time because we know we're gonna like say whatever. But when the cameras are off, we really don't care. So we're saying crazier shit and like talking about more personal things that like people don't necessarily have to know. We give the story and not the gossip,
Yeah. I think a lot of the time too, like when you're chilling with your buddies, like you feel like, oh, this would make an awesome podcast.
Yeah.
In actuality, like it would just be bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah, man. That's how a lot of things start, I guess.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the next segment of the show, man.
All right.
It's called S.Dot, Sex, Drugs, and Other Things. Shout out Big Blizz, man.
Yeah, I saw this with Nadia on her episode.
You ever heard of Big Blizz?
No.
He's out there in Everett and Malden and stuff. He's a producer. He's done a couple big things, and I did an album with him called Sex, Drugs, and Other Things. So I dedicate this because of the album we did, and I love that guy. I just always shout him out.
Nice shout out.
But Sex, Drugs, and Other Things is a little game show we have, and what you do is you give us a truth or a cool story or a cool fact about sex, drugs, or other things. You pick.
Or all three.
Yeah, I would go all of the above.
Okay, cool.
Hey.
So I just have to think of a story.
Yeah, like, some people, like, their sex stories will be like, yo, I had sex with, like, 4 small people, and...
That's pretty
At
cool.
the Empire State Building.
Yeah. Or, like, the drugstore will be like, yo, I did acid in Obama's house. And then the other things will be like, what do you think about ducks?
Diddy.
All right, I'll tell you about
Yeah, what do you think about Diddy?
the craziest date I ever had.
Oh, let's talk about, wait, is there sex involved or drugs?
Sex.
All right, let's talk about
Yeah. She might have been on drugs.
So, all three?
What the
Double
fuck was
whammy,
going on? So, yeah, it was my first date with this girl, and she seemed really cool. She told me she had a daughter, shit like that. So I met her in Harvard Square. We hopped around to a few bars, and it was great. Like, great vibes at first and everything like that. And the second or third place we went, like, she got like into a little bit of an altercation with like another guy that was at the bar. Nothing serious at all, but like she got annoyed with him or something like that. And I was like, whatever. Went to another place at the bottom of this hotel, and she starts like, we start ordering like heavy drinks, thick cocktails, fucking, and she's pounding them back. She starts getting real drunk, and just slurring with the bartender and shit. And I think he cut her off, and I'm like, I'm just start being like, oh Jesus Christ. And she's like, I need to pee. So we go up to the bathrooms, and like you go up to the public bathrooms, and there's a men's room and a women's room on both sides. She goes in the women's room, I go in the men's room. I'm taking a piss, and I hear like on the wall behind me like boom, 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 boom. And I'm like, what the fuck? And she comes and she's like, I fell. I had fallen in the bathroom, and then fucking, and comes up, and then she's like, starts trying to make out with me and shit. I'm like, hey, yeah. And then falls backwards away from me and falls into the urinal. Like, and I was like, oh my God, are you okay? And she's like, yeah. And she's like wet with the fucking toilet water shit, dude.
Oh my God.
And I'm just like, all right, I gotta get you out of here. And And so,
Taxi.
so I get her outside, and she just crumples up on the curb and starts crying, like bawling, crying about how she's not seeing her daughter and this and that about her life and all this shit. And I'm like, hey, listen, you know, it's gonna be okay. Like, you're really drunk right now. Like, you know, you don't need. We had a good night. Like, don't stress. You can think about it tomorrow. Trying to chill her out.
Curb and she's
So
crying.
yeah,
Oh my
she was
God,
on the
man.
curb crying.
Holy shit, for real?
No way, dude.
Wow. Let's go.
Yeah, here's a
She was
picture for the
that
thumbnail.
drunk?
Right? No, so
She's
yeah.
eating a funnel cake.
So yeah, she then she just suddenly stands up and starts storming down the street. I'm like, where are you know, so I'm walking with her, trying to make sure that she's like, it's late at night and shit like that. She's just being crazy.
And you're a gentleman, so you don't want to leave her by herself. Because I would have
dude.
left that bitch, but go ahead.
I mean, dude, I wanted to, but I wanted to just get her in a taxi or something. You know what I mean? And be like, out of there. So we're fucking walking down the street. She's like 10 feet ahead of me. She cusses out these guys who were just chilling on the stoop. And they're like, what the fuck? And then I flag a cab, put her in the shit. And she's like, chills out. She's like, come here. And like pulls me in and shit. Like trying to make out with me, whatever. And I'm drunk as fuck too. So I was like, all right, whatever. hop in the car with her.
Urinal kisses.
We fucking go back to her place, and you know, we start going at it and shit. And then like,
Did she shower first?
Yes, I was. My first thought was, did you shower?
no,
Did she wash her hands?
maybe.
Okay.
I don't know.
It's alright. She cleaned her mouth when she was at the food.
Learn some lessons while you're watching.
It was a
this show.
blurry night. It was a blurry night. But yeah. So we're going at it, and she starts like scratching me and shit. And like, I hate that type of shit.
Yo, for
So I was
real.
like, yo, chill with that. Like, you gotta stop. And then she starts doing it again. And then like, and I'm like, chill. And then like, she starts doing it again, like also kind of like hitting me and shit. Like all fucked up, you know? And I'm like, and then so I'm just like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm out of here. Yeah. I go to leave. I go out in the hall. She chases me out in the hall, butt naked. Like, please, I'm sorry. Come back. I'm like, all right, fine. Go back. Same cycle. Again and again. She starts scratching me and hitting me. And I'm like, I'm out of here. Chases me in the hall
Groundhog Day.
multiple times. And then finally,
He just wanted to get the nut. He kept coming back. I would have left it long.
I mean, you
Nah,
know
naked,
how it is
bro.
when you start like
naked.
and yeah, and you wanna fucking complete the
get
mission.
there.
You're trying to leave. She's like,
yeah.
you don't
wanna
want
complete
this
the mission.
pussy?
He wants to be. He wants
He's
to
like,
make
dude,
this-
I'm not a fucking quitter.
I'm not. Yeah,
The whole
I'm a
time
hard
you're trying to
worker.
leave, she's like, "Can you don't want this pussy?"
I mean, it's tough, dude. You know,
Yeah,
and,
grab
but
a titty.
it was. I mean, it was also ridiculous. But anyways,
Absolutely.
So eventually, you know, after a couple of times like that, go back in her house, and I can't quite find her, and I come around the side of the couch, and I find her in her dog bed, curled up, crying,
Is her dog alive?
totally naked. I mean, her dog was somewhere, but the dog's bed was there on the floor.
The dog was in the bed.
The dog wasn't around, no. And then, so she's there. She pulls me in.
You fucked her doggy style.
I don't remember what the position was, but
Just kidding. I don't think
start going again.
you went a dog's bed. That's why.
And then she goes, I love you.
Oh jeez, that was the final straw.
And I was like, I'm out. Got the fuck out of there.
Does she remember your name?
Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you know, we were texting the other day, or not Jesus Christ.
Hey,
Not the other day.
Not the
next
other day.
day.
The next day. The next day.
The next day.
The next day.
We were texting the next day, and she was very embarrassed and shit like that. But no, that was years ago.
That's crazy, dog. I've had some crazy moments like that too. Like women that just like overdo it with the drinking, and then like you feel like kind of like obligated to take care of them, and then because they went out with you. For me, if you come out, like if I pick you up, you're my responsibility. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Yeah.
So like for me, if I pick you up and take you out, I have to get you home, no matter what. You know what I mean? Like I'm not the kind of person that like cares about the sex part, because I know that like eventually I'm gonna hit it.
Yeah.
Like I didn't care, because I know like for me, the moment that I took you home and like made sure you got home and didn't do nothing. But me, I didn't drink a lot. I was very sober. That's why. If I was drunk, I'd probably stay and have sex a lot, but I didn't. I would literally drop you off, make sure you were good.
Yeah.
And then that moment would eventually get me some pussy later. Like, just because of like, yo, like, you know, he didn't take advantage of me, and I'll throw this pussy at him now. So it's like,
Yeah.
like
long, long game. Dude.
Yeah, being a nice guy wasn't a bad thing for me. Like, you know, I didn't care. I didn't care about that kind of stuff because I feel like I wasn't a bad looking guy, so sex would always be like, I can get it. You know, especially if you have confidence to know you can like get girls or whatever, like, then it's never like an issue. I feel like it's like riding a bike.
Linux, you think you're pretty,
The thing is, yo, here's my thing, bro. Can I be honest with you? I never actually kick it to girls. That's not what I do. I'm just a fucking like.
You just be looking at them, making faces.
No, I'm just very like, I'm very open and like honest all the time, and my honesty sometimes will start conversations.
Yeah.
And the conversations will lead to like, oh shit, like, you know, like, let's talk more or something, you know what I mean? Like, I might say something that might interest them, and then it goes from there. A lot of the times I was getting girls because I was so passionate about my music. You know, like, they never seen people that were passionate about something that wasn't a sport.
Right.
Or a degree. You know what I mean? Like, oh shit, you're passionate about being a rapper, a producer? What the fuck is that?
Yeah.
You know, I take them to the studio and like they open their eyes like, oh shit, this is a fucking studio. You know what I mean? So I think like just confidence itself is a great thing, but it can also work against you because I've been very overconfident sometimes too.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
With women or just in general?
Just in general sometimes, like,
yeah.
Like even with music, like maybe I think in my head I'm like, yo, this song is fire, and the 4 or 5 people I show that usually agree with me, they're like, this song sucks. You know what I mean? And that would crush me. I'm like, damn, dog, I put mad work into this.
I mean, it's oftentimes the new shit you make, you think it's super fire, and then you listen to it a couple months later, and you're like, damn, this wasn't that good.
Yeah.
But there's some shit that you listen to later, you're like, yeah, this is fire.
Yeah, man. Speaking about listening to stuff, let's plug your stuff right here.
Okay.
If you can put your finger like this real quick. Subscribe, motherfuckers. Subscribe. We're gonna put all your stuff right here.
Okay.
And then your Cash App right here next to my Cash App right here. And then Fabio's Yanti right here.
All right, it's all real Dallas Rose on everything, even Cash App.
Fuck.
Nah, man, fuck it. What do you want me to promote? Obviously, High Street, go watch that shit. We're live every week from the Dia and the Fenway. Check me out on Spotify. Go on my YouTube if you need beats. Go to DallasRoseBeats.com if you need beats. Nah, man, it's all about High Street though, bro. You know, we're doing the show. You know, we have a music video platform. Also, you know, we got the Instagram. Like, we're really trying to be a whole channel, dude, that puts the city on.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope.
From making music to doing the podcast, to doing
get on
the
the High
videos.
Street like universe and shit, like a network, like a Zeus.
I mean, just you know, just showing off, you're not showing off, but showing everything we do.
Yeah,
you know, that's all the podcast is, dude. It's just the conversations that we have anyway in the studio with people. Mm-hmm. You know, we just turn it into a show because it's valid shit. Like, it's the real conversations that are going on between musicians.
Yeah, and you know, like listening to a lot of artists on your show, like when they're talking about things, you can appreciate their music more. You know what I mean? Like, because you can see where they're coming from. You can see what they're talking about. You can see what their demeanor actually is. You know what I mean? Like, that's
what we really try to bring out of our guests on the show, is their personality. Like, you know, we always like to get the plugs in, but we don't want to spend too much time talking about, like, you know, how hard you worked on the project or whatever. Like, we want to, whatever we talk about, want to make sure that people understand who you are, what you're like, and they can be a fan of you, because that's what's going to make them check the shit out, not you talking about how awesome it is. Right. Like, I just, the last artist you guys just posted, I don't know where he's from. Nick Bucks? Yeah, where's he from? New York. Okay. Yeah. I've seen him before around these ways, do things before. But yeah, like listening to him like talk, and like even when Naughty tried to like flirt with him, like he was like so calm and collective, you know, like he is a pretty chill guy. He carried himself really well. So I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna check him out some more. Totally. But yeah, man, yo, we appreciate you having, you know, taking your time to come over here. I know. I appreciate you guys, man. It's so fun. Is there anything you want to say before we go, Yanti?
No, not today. I got in trouble last time.
Anything you want to say? Yo, I want to tell the world I love you and thank you for watching us because we do this for y'all. We do this for us, but we definitely do it for y'all. Otherwise, we wouldn't record it. So appreciate this shit. I love y'all. Like, subscribe, and all that other good shit. Say peace to the homie because you have to go to his channel now and show him some love, like, subscribe, and comment, and all that other shit. So we're going to go on his show, and we're going to bring weed we can't smoke, but we're going to bring it.
You smoke it outside.
There we go.
Yeah.
Can we do the podcast outside?
Yeah, we can do that.
Then we can smoke. Hey.
Yeah, man. It's not like a have to thing, but it's in the contract. Ask my producer. All right, yo, I love y'all. Peace.
All right, peace.
I'm rolling up, you heard? It's raining! It's raining! We're not supposed to be here. I know that. We're not supposed to be here. What the f*** you mean I don't like waffles? Who cares? What about me? Where the f*** are we?